Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sunup on 7. I'm Kevin Mendes.
And I'm Courtney Menzies.
Courtney, it's such a pleasure to be here with starting the day with you.
Starting the week with you.
The day. Of course, Courtney, let's tease them what can they expect on today's show.
You know her, you love her, and her earrings. We have Zest handcrafted back in our studio, showing you her lovely Easter collection.
Right. There's also a beauty salon doing a back-to-school drive, and today we're going to find out those details and how can you support that. And of course, we do not have the beef today, but we have baby beef joining us today on the couch, so stay tuned for that conversation. Let us know where you're watching from, what you're celebrating, and if you need us to give a shout out, we would love to do that. But Courtney, let's get to the couch.
Let's do it.
Doggy style.
I've come to find that the truth isn't what we were told. So where
to everybody on Sunup.
do I seek the answer that's worth looking for today? Just in time,
And he's here to talk to us
the
about
writing appears on the
show that we're on
wall.
right now. Tell me,
You
this
and
one
I were the first ones to see.
And we're going to be talking about the hot shush that has been
The
happening
world
over the
that
weekend.
we see
So
may
far.
seem that will never change. They say, but if you tear down the wall that's blinding us all, you'll see the way today. A place to call your home, a place where you can grow.
Muy buenos dias, my beautiful Sunup on 7 family. Welcome to your Monday episode. It's March 16th. I want to say thank you so much for welcoming Courtney and I into your space. If you're watching via Facebook, YouTube, or cable TV, we are going to have a great episode today. Before we get into all the goodness of a baby beef serving today, we're going to go through the weather, and that's courtesy of the Belize Met Service.
Good morning, Belize. Generally fair conditions prevailing. Thereafter, the approach and passage of a cold front will bring some changes. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for mostly sunny skies today, and high temperatures are expected to reach 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 94 inland, and 84 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy with low temperatures of 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 70 inland and 65 in the higher elevations. Little to no rain is expected except for the chance of isolated thunderstorms developing over inland areas during the afternoon or evening hours. The winds will blow from the east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the sea state will be choppy. A high tide will occur at 8:45 this morning, a low at 2:21 in the afternoon, another high at 8:32 tonight, and a low at 3:20 tomorrow morning. The sun will rise at 1 minute to 6 this morning and set at 2 minutes past 6 this evening. The moon set at 5 minutes past 4 this evening and rise at 4:58 tomorrow morning. The outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night is for cloudy skies at times, along with a few showers and thunderstorms to develop over most areas, and this will be associated with the approach of a cold front. In the sargassum forecast, surface and satellite data continue to show sargassum increasing over the area. As a result, more mats are expected to drift ashore during the next few days, producing moderate impacts. And in the fire forecast, the risk for forest and brush fires will be low to moderate for the next 24 hours. And that concludes your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
Folks, that's your weather update. And again, it's very important for us to stay tuned to your weather. You know, it helps us prepare for the day. But definitely just a reminder to always stay tuned to a reliable weather update. So if you want to stay tuned to that, you can go to nms.gov.bz for that weather update. But definitely March weather is here, Courtney.
Yeah.
Can you feel it?
Yeah, it's equal parts hot, and then there are days where it's like windy, but the heat is on.
Yeah, but it's just absolutely beautiful how
Yes.
blue the sky is.
And the
how
sunrises these days are so yellow
I
and
know.
like. It's
Yeah, because
so
we were
cool.
able to like actually see it on the traffic cam.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
beautiful sunrise that
right.
we're able to experience these
Yeah,
days.
and I saw it coming here too, just over the water. It's so gorgeous.
It is so gorgeous.
So we're expecting lots of good sunrise pics this month, the rest
Yeah.
of this month, and next month from you
That
guys.
is true. That is true.
You guys
So
need
wherever
to
you're
wake up
watching
early
from,
and, yeah.
if you can do some inland sunrises, that would absolutely be beautiful for us to share on Sunup on 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Folks, I know that you're expecting Jules today on this Monday morning beef. Unfortunately, he's not going to be joining us today. But like we said, we're going to be having a great conversation with Courtney on our couch talk this morning. But before we get into that, Courtney, how was your weekend?
It was great. I did a reef run.
You did reef run. How was that
Yeah.
experience?
Oh my gosh, I injured my calf like when I had like 3 miles left. I was like limping for like a good 2 or 3 miles. It was so painful. But I was like the Red Cross truck stopped by me and a police officer, and they're like, "Are you okay? Can you continue?" But quitting was not even an option. Like I'm already like I only have like 3 more miles left, and it's like
3 more miles is still a lot, though.
Yeah, but that's like our regular.
I'm just, but it's beautiful that you see it that way, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just like, no, if I have to crawl over that finish line, and in the end, I'm just like, I'm not limping over this finish line either. So I just bear the pain, and with my like messed up calf, and I ran across the finish line, and that feeling was really good. Big up the organizers of that run. I think that was really well done, especially for the cost. It was only $20. They had lots of water stations. They had Powerade out there. Bananas, watermelons, and yeah, they give you a nice shirt and a nice Lee medal. So I think it was a really nice run and for a good cause, raising funds for the reef. And there was a lot of people out there, like, well, they got a good number. I think they got more signups than they thought that they would get. So you had to close early and all. So yeah, that was a really good run. And then the day before that, we had Women in Art, and that was a beautiful exhibition. I think it was really well done too. And then myself, and Jo Marie, we submitted literary pieces.
That is true. Congratulations for that. Yeah.
And it was like published in this.
Was this
nice
your
little
first time
book.
getting published?
In Women in Art?
Women in
yeah.
Art, okay.
I've had like some poems published when I was in UB. So, but that was like such a long time ago. So this is like the first time in a long, long time that I have something really.
Can you give
out
us some
there.
insight into what was your piece about?
Oh yeah, so it's called Nachin, which means grandmother in Maya. And it's about this girl who, she's studying abroad. And you know, when you study in like the Caribbean, they don't have that masa. But as a Maya woman, as like myself, you can't live without masa, you can't live without corn. And so she comes home for the summer, and the first thing she wants is corn tortillas. So she goes to her grandma's house, but she can't make the corn tortillas. So her grandma has to make it for her. And while she's making these corn tortillas with her grandma, she's struggling with a sense of her sense of identity as a Maya woman who grew up in the city, which is like, that's how I grew up. So I grew up in the city, so I'm not very connected. I don't feel very connected to my culture sometimes. My grandma is the opposite. She grew up in San Antonio. So she grew up in the heart of it, right? San Antonio and Toledo. So it's just a juxtaposition between the two generations of women and her trying to find herself of identity while making these tortillas with her grandma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. I mean, I have a corn tattoo here because
Yes.
it's also part of my identity as a Mayan person,
Yeah.
right? That is so beautiful. Where can people find this piece?
You know, I know it's available online because I saw like they had a QR code that because like the book itself was only given to the persons who had submissions. So I think if you go maybe on Ika's Facebook page, you can find a
Okay.
link or a QR code
Very
or
well.
something like that.
I know that you're going to have an online publication of it. So
Yeah.
probably at the ICA page, we're going to
Yeah.
be able to like access it. But if you ever come across the link, just share it on your Facebook page and
sure.
share it also. We can
Yeah.
have people, connect to your story. So
Yeah.
congratulations on
And Mary
getting
Frances
featured.
had some.
Mary
like,
Frances
pieces
also
as
had some
well,
pieces
so big
too.
up.
I think like I saw one which looked like a picture of like motherhood.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. But that was really beautiful to see, and how that experience can be for some women. So
For sure.
congratulations to all women that were featured in Women in Art over this
Yeah, it
weekend
was
to the reef
beautiful.
run. I hope the reef run was also a clean run, in terms of like disposal of like garbage bags.
Yeah,
I
because
think
that's the point.
because that's a
conservation,
point of
yeah.
conservation too, and I also like somebody mentioned like an interesting point where there was like a lot of like papers getting distributed at the reef fair, for instance, and we talk about going green and the reef
Yeah.
and stuff. Is like, can we like try to like not use as much paper that often goes to waste at such events, to just be able to like connect to a deeper level as to like why we're having these things, like
Yeah.
there's so many ways some people can access information. other than the conventional use of
For
paper.
sure. And everybody have phones these days. So
Yeah.
For sure you could move more technology.
Yes. So like,
Yeah.
I guess every year it just gets better, but definitely again, kudos to the organizers of the event this past weekend. That was really
and
beautiful.
everybody
to
that
hear.
ran it or even walked it, I think as long as you're out there and moving your body, you can do no wrong.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And you know, at the end of the day, I guess like it's so beautiful to be able to tell you completed your run. You know, like
Yes.
just saying, okay, it was challenging, like the
Right.
cough and the cramp and everything, but you were able to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty about going running. You know, like everybody has their own story and everybody has their own challenge. And you have no idea like what's going on through their minds.
Yeah.
So being able to acknowledge that really just makes it.
And then I saw you
Powerful
run.
experience thing.
You ran
Yeah,
like
I ran 10 miles. Yeah.
for fun.
Yeah, actually, like I also had a cramp on my left calf.
Okay.
And I was just like similar like you. I'm like, I'm already there, and I'm just like, let's just take it easy, and let's just
Yeah.
keep going. And I was surprised that I did 10 miles.
Yeah, I'm surprised too because that's no joke. You're
Yeah.
more than ready for climb up that.
Yes, yes. But folks, we're gonna like get going into our couch talk. But thank you so much, Courtney, for sharing. How was your weekend? That's so beautiful. Sounds so wholesome.
Yeah,
I
and
hope you
yours,
got
I saw
some
you
rest.
were like enjoying your time at home in your
Oh yeah,
space.
yeah.
your
I'm much
safe
of like an introvert, right? So like I'm out there socializing much, but I tend to recharge in my
Yeah.
in my space. So again, the weather is beautiful. It's my favorite time of the year. You know, like just be shirtless, just enjoy the blue sky and the nice breeze, and definitely I had a good time. I cooked a fresh pot of beans, and I love beans as much as I love corn.
Yeah.
So I was just looking forward to that. But yeah, wholesome weekend, and we're here on this Monday and just having a great time with you. So are we ready to have a serving of baby beef?
Yes.
Yes,
Let's do
let's
it.
get started. So Courtney, our first story is about a tragedy in Punta Gorda. So a toddler drowns near St. Peter Claver Wharf yesterday. It's a tragic story because the baby, like, so how the story goes is that one of the younger brothers was sent on a mission to go and buy ideals, right? So when he goes to buy the ideals, they did not notice that the toddler followed him. So when he comes back and they with the ideals and they're looking forward to distributing the ideals and give one to the 3-year-old, the 3-year-old is nowhere to be found. It's not the first time that the toddler, goes missing. He had gone missing, and then they had called the police because they were worried about him, but they found him
Yeah.
before the police got back. So in this situation too, they're like, okay, rather than going and calling the police, let's just do a search for him because, we just want to not,
Yeah.
bother the police with the situation. Well, it turns out that while they were finding him, one of the older brothers comes around and he said that they found him, but they found him at the wharf, and unfortunately, he drowned. I just think it's such an
Yeah.
awful experience to be able to find your brother in this situation. But based on the report that was shared yesterday, a passerby was able to see these young boys, looking for this child, and he was like, "No, I have not seen this child." But later, just observing the situation, he noticed that they found this baby, this toddler, at the wharf. He assisted by providing CPR, which was unsuccessful. And by the time the parents were called to the scene, the police department had already processed it, and the body was already transported to Punta Gorda Hospital.
Yeah.
So it's really sad to see a toddler lost his life in this manner. The brothers finding their baby brother in
Yeah.
this manner, and the family. I'm sure this is not the way how they expected their day to go. So our condolences to the family of this
Right.
toddler.
And I
What are
think
your thoughts about it?
we see so many cases of children drowning, whether it's in wells, whether it's in ponds. I remember, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, where that little 6-year-old had drowned in the canal here in the city. And then we have Pablo. We have to remember him, Gabriel Oriana, the Stella Maris student who ran all the
Yeah.
way to Hanger and got into the sea and drowned. So we see so many of these cases happening, and I guess with the family, there's just so much guilt. There's just so much, what should I have done? What could I have done? Because the little boy, he, like you said, he went missing the day before, but he just kind of wandered back home. So I guess they were expecting the same thing to happen. And when you live somewhere rural, especially, it's not like in the city. I feel like you have more eyes on your kids because it's a city. It's more dangerous. There's a lot of traffic. But when you're somewhere rural where it's calm and peaceful, you kind of leave children to roam around a bit just to be children.
And in the city, it's more enclosed, right? You find
Yeah.
people more in blocks, like
Yeah.
in fences, you know, like
Right, so
it's
there's
hard.
not been much roaming space, but I think in smaller towns and villages, kids are allowed to like be free a bit, but it's so difficult when, you know, you have to deal with a situation like this. And it makes no, you know, it doesn't make the situation better. Like, I know a lot of people probably, when these things happen, they blame the parents. You're like, oh, well, the parents should have been watching, but I'm sure they blame themselves. I don't think it really makes the situation any better if
That
you
is true, yeah.
just point fingers. Unfortunately, these things happen, but it's just, I think the frequency is alarming to me because I feel like every few months we do get some report of a child drowning. Again, like I said, a lot of times it's in wells, it's in these rural communities and whatnot. So, you know, again, like you said, condolences to the family, and we are following up on this story. Hopefully we'll have more information later on in the newscast.
Yeah, so like I guess like at the end, just my last thoughts about it is just, as you mentioned, like in community spaces, like in rural spaces, there's also like the notion of everybody's looking after each other too, despite, you know, like you're free to roam. But if you're like, I don't know, there's like a more of an alert and more of a caring while here in the city. Like
Yeah.
everybody's minding their business within
Right.
their own block, within their own vehicle, right? So the situation can be different there. But I guess at the end of the day, the thing is, if it's as an adult or, you know, like you're able to see a child roaming an area like by themselves,
Yeah.
you know, especially like where there's like heavy traffic or where there's water, where, of course, your alerts would be like, would I allow my sibling or my nephew or my child to be roaming this area by himself?
Yeah.
Maybe the answer should be no, right?
Yeah,
So in
especially
that
if it's
manner,
close to
like
a body of
you should
water.
react, and then you should be like, I'm gonna take you to the police station. I have no idea who are your parents, but at least in the police station, you're gonna be safer. So it's also to like be on the alert of like certain kids that are navigating the spaces by themselves. But yeah, you're gonna follow up on the story today, Courtney, and again, our condolences to the family on this situation. Move on to our next couch talk topic with Baby Beef, and today we're gonna talk about the problem cat that was caught in Lemonal. And this is about Henry, who's a recaptured jaguar. So Henry has a story from like August 2025 when it's a female jaguar, right?
It's a male.
It's a male jaguar,
I think
okay.
the press release was a bit inaccurate.
Oh, the press release was a bit inaccurate.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Okay, so the Jaguar Henry is a male, and he was found around Henry School, which is why his name is Henry.
Yeah.
He was killing pets from then. He killed multiple dogs from there. That's why the residents of
There's
that
a conflict
community
jaguar.
reached out. Yeah. And so that's why he had a collar on him, because he had already been captured. So right now, where he was relocated, it seems, he made his way over to civilization again, which is when he was in Lemonal now. And he's already used to hunting dogs, so he continued hunting these dogs. But we've been told from multiple sources, and this is like a lot of different people, that the problem with Henry is that it seems that the forestry department has blocked out the zoo. Now the zoo they're usually the leaders of, you know, they go out, they have their wildlife conflict program, human jaguar conflict program, that's what it's called. They've had it since 2003. They've had 30 successful jaguar releases, but they've been blocked out since I think late last year. So they're not being told information, they're not being asked to assist, and the zoo is one of the few places who has the facilities to deal with jaguars. So we saw that, yes, Henry was captured again, but he was injured, and he's being kept in this metal cage because the zoo doesn't know where he is, because they don't have a part in this now. So it's likely that he's not being put in the proper facility. So he's being kept in this metal cage, and I think so
there's a photo about the cage in which
yes,
he's
and they
kept.
put a dead calf as bait. If we could find the photo, they put a dead calf as bait to capture the jaguar, which I understand the people they're scared. You know, they don't know how to deal with it, but they're trying to deal with it the best they can. Now, the way that the the cages are usually made, they're not metal. They have like plywood in them, so the jaguar doesn't hurt himself. But because this is a metal cage, the jaguar, you know, hurt himself. You can see like his nose was blooded and stuff like that. Now that happens, you have to relocate them in a safe space. But we're being told that this jaguar is being kept somewhere, like they don't know, right? Like it's being
Okay.
kept in this metal cage in a vet that maybe can't deal with it because, you know, it's always been the zoo who deals with these jaguars. And yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just a kind of a mess. I think also Anre had a GPS collar. So the question, and the residents in Limonel are asking this question too. If they have a GPS collar, how did you not know it was in Limonel? And why did it take so long to capture it? You could track it. You see where it is. Why did it take so long? And you saw it getting closer to Limonel. You saw it getting closer to people. Why didn't you step in earlier before it started eating all of these dogs?
All right. So just like, thank you so much, Courtney, for giving us some details about the situation. Just like from our knowledge of what was shared on the press statement was, again, that Henry, not hungry and not Henry, Henry, A-N-R-I. He was captured in 2025 of August because of human conflict problems. And based on the reasons why, like, there's a conflict between jaguars and humans, usually it's because the jaguar is injured. When Henry was captured in 2025, based on the veterinary assessment, he had no injuries. He was a healthy male jaguar. Now we know it's a male jaguar. But when he was recaptured this time around, it showed that he was missing, like he had like his canines hurt. And so that could be a possible reason why he was now like finding easier prey for him, which is, from my experience working with jaguars, that's also like part of the reason why they do that. But definitely that raises the question if in 2025, when they had him captured and they collared him to be able to radio track him, like why were they unable to track him properly where he was at the area of Limonal too?
Right.
And I think like from 2025 to 2026, there could have been, development in the area too, which also with development, it restricts the area for the jaguar to roam free without any conflicts with humans too. So I think that's a part of what needs to be assessed. How things change in the environment of this jaguar that prompted him to go and have this conflict. Now, as a result to the possible situation where the zoo is getting boxed out of how do you manage jaguar-human conflict is a very interesting. Take in this situation, because, as you mentioned, they have been very crucial in rehabilitating jaguars that have been part of human-jaguar conflict situations, where there's an ethical way of how you go about handling captured animals, how you set up the cage. I've worked capturing animals too, and we know we have to make it in a way where the jaguar is able to be comfortable and make it through while you do the assessments and while you're able to relocate them.
And you have to have them quarantined too.
Yeah. And so if this jaguar is already being stressed because of the environment it is, then it's showing maybe this is not the best method for you to go about doing it. So definitely it's worth, further investigating to see how does the zoo feel about this, how they're going to be incorporated in the management of this conflict situation with the jaguar, and where will the jaguar be relocated.
Yeah.
I know there on the press statement is shared that the possible relocation will be to northern Belize, which...
But that's where they really, because it's the Corazal Sustainable Fund initiative, that's the one that's been a part of Anre's journey. And it's Corazal, so they release this animal into the northern area, like you said, but it's not suitable because it's not far enough away, or it's not the jaguar can easily make its way back to civilization. As we saw, this is where they had it already, and it made its way back to Limonal. What I understand is when they release these jaguars, you have to go deep in the jungle, deep in the chicky bowl, somewhere deep where the jaguar can't easily make its way back. So this is obviously not a sustainable place to put this jaguar. So I would not want to see them put this jaguar there again, and then we have the same problem occurring again and again and again.
Right.
So we need to find some way to ensure that the jaguar is put at a suitable place. And this is where the zoo comes in. This is literally what they do. This is, for years they've been working with jaguars. They've been working with communities, and they've helped communities feel safe. Everybody know that when you have an issue, the first people you call at the zoo, and they're there early morning, late night. They, whether if it's an animal that gets knocked down or something that's abandoned, everybody calls the zoo. the zoo is not just there to showcase these animals. It's there to help these animals and to help us live and coexist with these animals. So it's very unfair that they're being blocked out this way. And we have to get interviews with the forestry department to find out more about this, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, yeah. At least like what I know about, like jaguar conservation is that male jaguars are territorial and female jaguars are the ones that roam. So if Andre is a male jaguar and he's being placed in a new area, he still needs to like figure out, how do I go interacting with this new turf that I'm in, right? So that also like poses a threat where like, will Andre be able to survive in this area where he's being placed at? And if he's coming in an area where there's a dominant jaguar, then maybe more than likely he will move himself because he wants to preserve his life also, right? So he's gonna go in an area where I will have a fair chance of getting food because this dominant jaguar is in the area.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go somewhere else and be able to do this. But also like, I just wanna like simply survive. So there's a lot of intricacies whenever you're thinking about jaguar conflict management, but definitely, as you mentioned, the zoo is a critical part because they've been having the experience of doing this. The forestry department also, but it requires some sort of like collaborative effort to be able to like properly know how do we address the situation. I just want to quickly share a comment from John August. It says that we cannot blame the jaguar. His home or space has been taken by Oliver humans. The same is happening for the John Smith Road area, where that is wetland area is being given out for house lots, and this is affecting tapirs in the area. Hence the reason they're being run over by cars. He was like, no one takes into consideration wildlife habitats when issuing land for development.
For sure. That's why I always laugh at the joke where it's like when people say, when they're going to swim and they're like, this is shark-infested waters. This isn't shark-infested. That's their home. That's where they live. You're the infestation. Like, we do need to figure out a better way to coexist with these animals because they were there first and that's their home and they don't have nowhere to go. And it's sad the amount of tapirs we do see getting knocked down and stuff like that. So we definitely, the John Smith area is a problem area for
definitely. At least like a win in this situation is that Henry's alive, because like given, like the fear that has been created over jaguars, which is part of colonization, and also just the fact that, he's out there roaming, he could have been an easy target of somebody saying, the best way for me to handle this is by, killing this jaguar. So grateful that Henry is alive. And hopefully by talking about this today and by further investigating, we're going to be able to ensure that he's alive, but also like stays well while he's rehabilitated and reintegrated back into a natural space.
Right, and it's hopeful. We're hoping that the carcass isn't still in this cage with him too. Like there's so many things that could go wrong with the capture of Anre. So we hope for the best for Anre, that he survives, that he's healthy, that he can be properly reintroduced into the wild, like you said, and that he could continue living his life. But I find it interesting when you're saying that the fear of jaguars is from colonization, because Dr. Teis, I spoke to her at the Reef Fair, and she said the same thing about crocodiles.
Yeah.
She said that crocodiles were coexisting with humans in Mesoamerica long before pre-Maya civilization. They were coexisting with humans, and it's colonization that makes us now fear these animals. And I thought that was so interesting because I never put that together.
Yeah, so the thing with jaguars is that, so how colonization works is colonization and capitalism, right? So colonization made us have a fear for these animals, right? So jaguars are going to come for you, like hunt them, kill them, right? So it kind of like made people afraid, and they hunted them and they killed them. And so, of course, their pelts were valuable for the industry. So like, oh, wow, like we killed them. So it was like a free access to having, jaguar pelts because of how they were like, people were instilling fear and just like killing them. So like, that was the mindset that was created over our fear for wildlife. So similarly for crocodiles, because they said, oh, crocodiles are going to come for you, like kill them. So that if you have like people are going out there and hunting crocodiles, then you have free skin for the shoe industry and all of these things, right? So it's like that was like how colonization affected our disturbance with our nature interaction.
Yeah, and we can coexist with these animals. With crocodiles, don't feed them, just leave them be. Dr. Hayes mentioned that our crocodiles here are very timid, so you could literally, if they're just out and about, just leave them there. With jaguars, they kind of keep to themselves. So it's like when they hear noise or people coming, they tend to just leave. You don't harass them, they don't harass you. So, but like Mr. Aga said, we're encroaching on their space.
And it's also like, I just want to point out from our chat on Facebook Live, it's good to see that people are able to like empathize with the jaguar and saying the jaguar is more afraid of humans as we are afraid of them. And, like jaguars are smart creatures that they're able to like detect danger, like smell it and just do their
Yeah.
best to move away from the situation. Right. But unfortunately, there's so many stressors that are affecting these wildlife also, and that must be taken into account. But thank you for your comments. Definitely great contribution to this topic. Cordy, let's move on to our next couch talk topic. And you see, like this baby beef is getting, it's a slow simmer today, but definitely is quite a treat. So this next topic that we're going to talk about, Courtney, is the National Bus Company. So there's growing pains at this National Bus Company. Let's talk about it.
Right. A lot of people question Dr. Zavanez. Obviously, I don't know if it's his decision or the team's decision or what, but their decision, the ministry's decision to buy over these buses were not good for nothing. So you put your branding on these really run-down old buses and you say this is a National Bus Company, and it just looks bad. It's just a bad look. I understand that, the plan is to move to a whole electrical fleet by next year. But for now, you still have issues because you still have the same bus. It's literally like, I don't even know what to say. You just put on makeup and like a pig. That's what they say.
A really bad makeup too.
Yeah. So you just put on a lease sign and then you say, all right, let's go. And so, people are upset about this and now they have somebody to blame. So you could blame Shaz for always breaking. This is just an example, Mr. Shah. I'm so sorry. You could be blaming Shaz for breaking down, but you catch Shaz with the knowledge that this bus might break down. So you risk it. But now you have the government to blame, and everybody expects more from the government. So now you're like, and everybody's ready to dunk on the government at any time, of course. So now you have the government buses breaking down. It's not Shaz or Westline or James or any of these buses that are breaking. This is the government's bus breaking down. And so now you have a person to blame, an entity to blame, and you could just bring it down on the government. And so we've been hearing tons of residents complaining about, the same old problems that they had. The buses are still breaking down. They're still having standees. XYZ keeps happening.
Yeah, I guess it's like there was an untold expectation when the government took over the National Bus Company, right? They're sort of like, okay, we're going to improve how the public transport is in Belize, which now it's going to be a public transport because before it was not a public transport because it was still private.
Yeah, it's going to be PPE.
Yeah. So now they're saying, okay, you're here to say, like, we're going to improve how we go about using buses and all of these things. But clearly, like, those expectations are not being met by consumers, especially. Where there's been reports over the weekend, for instance, where there were people like trafficking to Belmopan and they were caught on the Hummingbird Highway with the bus being unable to like go uphill. So the bus would the passengers had to, at the foothill, they had to like get off the bus.
Yeah.
The bus goes up the hill.
And they walk
and
up
then
the
they
hill.
walk up the hill. And I am like,
Ridiculous.
how embarrassing is this? It is super embarrassing, right? And then there's other situations where the bus broke down even before it enters the bus terminal in Belize City, and then the passengers are left stranded waiting for another bus if there's going to be another bus, right? So there's so many situations that are getting unmet. The next thing is also the employees of these past bus companies, that they had certain expectations that when the government takes over, things will get better. And now there's like rumors that there may be a possible strike or possible stands or protests because of there's a level of uncertainty of like, now that we're working for the National Bus Company, what does this mean? We have our contract, what are our benefits? So it's just like so many things up in the air that needs to be clarified as to like what it really is.
Right. But I think what the Ministry of Transport wants, and this is just my speculation, is that they want a little bit of patience. Because, they're promising that next year...
More patience.
More patience, because they're promising that next year things will be better.
Yeah.
But that not means nothing to people who they travel every day. Like, if you made these promises, we want some type of improvement, you can't go from 0 to 100 within a year. Obviously, as the months go on, there has to be some level of improvement. People who travel every day, or even anybody who uses public transport, I think it's been too long that they've been waiting on some type of improvement. So you can't blame them for saying these are the same MR, just under a different name.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, like, there are some viewers on our Facebook Live connecting and saying, why couldn't the government wait until you have all your fleets?
Yeah.
You know, so like from now to December, you can work on doing like the background work, right, to ensure that the terminal is proper, that you have an electronic ticketing system, that you have your how your monitoring is gonna work, and then by the time your new fleets of buses, we can just say every month you're gonna be getting X number of electric buses. Why couldn't you wait until then to like full on launch this thing? And I feel like that was, for me, that was like a best way of approaching it, because then you are able to gain public trust, right? And I think that's like at a point where you're asking people are desperate, you know, people are frustrated, and you come and you're saying National Bus Company and you're still riding the same buses. It's like, we're not ready to feel this, right? We're not
Yeah.
ready to feel you. But if you had waited and people are able to like properly sit down and be like, oh, you mean business, right? So your level of credibility would have been different than what you're doing now, right? And then there has been so many times where this milestone, like this milestone has been removed. Or say like we had it under Mr. Ferguson at some point, who was Minister of Transport. We said, oh, by X date we're gonna be
Oh,
having
yeah.
new
He was
buses.
moving the
and
goalposts every
and the man
minute.
is
Yeah.
not even the minister now, and nothing that he said
Yeah.
was done, right? So it's like that's the next thing that. Will it be the same situation now with this national bus
Yeah.
company,
Like,
right?
will we see the fleet
Every
next
time
year?
this marker will be moved. So it's like I don't really feel this credibility, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't really the trust, you know, and I'm still riding this old buses that may not even make it to my destination.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. So, like, of course, we're still going to follow up this story because it's a very important conversation that we need to follow and hear how the consumers feel. You can let us know how you feel about it, but also the employees, how they feel about it. Now, the question is, will they go ahead and do a protest? Will they make a stand? We're going to follow up on that.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting situation. And then, but then, like I said, at the end of the day, it's the commuters who feel the brunt of it, especially the ones who catch bus every single day. Like, I can't imagine what that's like. So they're the ones who we really need to work for the most, I think.
Yeah, so let's move on to our next culture shock topic, Courtney. And the big question now that we're going to be talking about is, how big is the government of Belize's tax take on fuel? And the question also is, what would John do? WWJD. What would John do about the situation?
You know, this gas thing has been a real conversation starter. We know...
In memes and
Yeah.
like people are having like just a humor relief
Yeah.
from it.
Right,
Yeah.
because if you're not laughing, you won't cry.
Exactly.
But, you know, we know that there is, you know, war and whatnot going on in the Middle East and in Iran. And we know, like, and people like to think that these things don't affect us, but everything that happens in this world affects us somehow, some way. So we saw that the pump prices went up. And we're talking about this strait today, this Strait of Hormuz, which is where all the fuel goes
Yeah,
through.
the tankers.
All the fuels go through, and it's on the coast of Iran. And Iran is blocking that off and not allowing the fuel to pass through, which is causing one of the worst fuel crises that we've seen, you know, in a long, long time. And so there are countries that literally have shut down, that can't work because they don't have fuel. They don't have this fuel. So of course we would see, you know, these prices go up. But while the prices were down, which we had, like, I think a long period where world global prices were down, it still felt like our prices
Did
were
not go down.
right. Our prices were still high, and when you calculate the taxes and the fees, you're like, your mind is blown. Like, we're
Yeah.
really.
Do you want me
paying-
to like remind you of how much the taxes are?
let's do
So the calculations for last year, the taxes on regular fuel is 41%. The taxes on premium fuel is 45%. The taxes on diesel is 38%.
Right. So that's a crazy amount of tax that we've been seeing. And this is while the global prices were down and we were still paying, we were still paying such high prices. But now that we have a reason to pay high prices because it's going to take so much more money to get the fuel into the country, because it's being strangled on the other side of the world, the government, and we see this old footage from Mr. Briceño when he was a protester, when he was in the opposition, saying all kind of things, but this is how politics goes, saying that Mr. Barrow, who was the prime minister at the time, he should bring down the gas by $2, Well, Mr. Briseño, are you going to bring down the gas by $2? Are you going to lower these taxes, give us a break?
Yeah.
Lower these taxes and lower these fees because now we're paying an exorbitant amount. Are you going to, put your money where your mouth is? Because you said all of these things. Are you going to follow through?
Because in 2017, he said this is unsustainable and this is unacceptable.
Right.
And that's why he was out there taking the streets, right? Because he was like, come and join us because we are dissatisfied with these taxes that we have to pay on fuel. And he was like, and if because the prices of fuel go up, then you're going to see like cost of living go up because people need to be able to like meet their ends. And so like, that was in 2017, 2018. And as you mentioned, Courtney, there was a period in time last year where the fuel price went down by like some cents. But rather than the government also like decreasing, their taxes or the amount that people were paying, it still remained the same, right? So it's like, So you were saying this in 2017, 2018, but now you're in a position of power where you're able to like make a change, where you say like, we need to look after the well-being of our people and their pockets.
But what about now?
What about now?
And I really, really hope, I pray that the people who are generally blinded by color are actually seeing this and realizing that the first thing out of any politician's mouth is a lie. And that you can't take these people's words at heart. You can't say, oh, yes, I put my full trust into any political power because we literally see how they get rich and switch. This is literally, we're seeing it happening in real time. Like if you weren't around in 2017 or you weren't following the news and maybe now you're older and and you have a car, no, maybe you never have a car back then, and you're seeing how these politicians get rich and switch. I'm guaranteed that when Mr. Briseño reached back in the opposition, because politics is cyclical, they won't stay in power forever. Something might change somewhere along the line. When Mr. Briseño and the PUP get back in the opposition, they're gonna march the streets same way when time to gas the up.
He also took the streets when the teachers were protesting, right? And you recall the situation last year with the negotiation with the teachers went to.
And then they will say, oh, we're a party that we are built on the labor movement. And
So somebody here is posing a very good question. And he says, okay, he's saying that we need to educate ourselves. Thank you for the comment. We're going to reflect on that. But he says, how do you think the government was going to pay for the pay raise of all government workers?
How? Oh, when they increase it through the taxes of the gas, that's what he's saying?
Yeah, but also I think it's important to like take into account that like there was an increase for like CEOs and like ministers, and I'm like, how is that like?
How is that going to be paid for?
How is that going to be paid for? But how is that like reasonable? As in regards to like, oh, these persons need to get a higher increase when there were public servants still fighting for what was their like basic needs to get met. It's like it does not make sense, right? So like again, it's like. I hear where you're saying taxes need to be present because even in the budget presentation this year, we can see where our consumer taxes are going to contribute to a lot of the budget. But it's like, how do we like are able to like use it reasonably, right? Rather than saying, let's give it to like this people in power or like saying, let's make it reflect to the larger body of citizens that are getting affected by these taxes increase.
Right, and I don't think the public officers are wrong to ask for an increase. If you see the CEO who's already making more than you and who has all of these allowances, I think we're forgetting that they're not to pay for gas and they're not to pay for phone and they're not to pay for a lot of things because they get those allowances and some public officers don't get a lot of those allowances. I remind you that the firefighters were not getting like hazard and wet and dirty and a lot of different fees that they just started getting, I think like late last year or early this year, I don't remember, but they don't get these allowances. I don't think they were wrong to ask for it, and I don't think that it's impossible to pay them what they deserve to be paid, especially, again, like you said, if you manage the money properly, which is what we elect governments to do. And I will say something else, too, that we would love to speak to Mr. Briseño about this fuel thing. But 2 times last week, we asked him for an interview. I stood in front of him 2 times and asked for an interview, me and Marisol. 2 times he walked away from us. Mr. Briseño, we never beg you for apply for the job. You asked for the job. You asked to be Prime Minister, and you are answerable to the public. You are answerable, and of course, we want to ask about the gas. We want to ask about the Feinsteins, the whole issue with the Feinsteins. We want to ask about many, many different things that are burning hot right now. We want to ask about Cuba. What are you going to say about Cuba and Cuban Medical Brigade? These are people's lives that are hanging on a thread. And the least you can do is do a little interview. And if you don't want to do an interview, do a press conference. We'd be happy either way. But you can't keep walking away from us. 2 times last week, 2 days in a row, one a house meeting and one to other event that we were not invited to, a Ministry of E-Governance event that we were not invited to, and that we had to find out through some back door that this thing may happen.
Wow.
So you could continue to avoid the media, but we will find you.
Courtney, we have one last topic to go to, and so I told you we're having this beef, this simmer, and it's like it's pretty hot by now because our last topic we switched from beef to chicken, Courtney. But there's still we're gonna have a side of chicken. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's beef with a side of chicken, and that story is because the price of chicken are expected to go up, and so the food vendors are now saying that their prices will follow. So it's expected that there will be a 6 cents increase per pound of chicken and a $3 price increase for a 50-pound crate of chicken. And so the vendors are saying, well, in order for us to be able to meet the ends of this increase in price of chicken, then our prices will also go up, right? It has me like a different takes here, but I want to hear what is your take on this.
Man, whenever chicken prices are affected, you have to listen because chicken, and I think we say it in our stores all the time, that it's the cheapest source of meat protein. It's, beef expensive, pork expensive, but chicken is the one thing that everybody try have on their table. If nothing else, you have really rice and beans and chicken. So when the prices go up, it's definitely something to be, concerned about on one hand. On the other hand, the chicken wholesalers, the producers, whatever, wherever you buy your chicken from, they're saying it's only 6 cents a pound. Like you're not. Yeah, they believe that some of these vendors are catastrophizing.
Oh, I believe so.
Yeah, so like the tacos, people who they sell tacos for like a shilling extra now, or I know that I saw a post from Tony's Barbecue, and everybody buys, Tony's. That they're saying that they might have to increase their prices because of this price increase. The chicken people are saying you're catastrophizing. It's only 6 cents a pound. But on the other hand, too, everything else is going up. So they're just like, maybe we don't know what their profit books look like or their, accounts look like. So we can't say like for sure that they are, but it is just 6 cents a pound. Like you don't have to add a whole, like I don't forget, like a whole less taco in my amount because of 6 cents a pound.
Yeah, I mean, like it's really unfortunate, as you mentioned, because like prices are increasing for many things. Price of fuel, which is very necessary for transport of goods. Now price of chicken is increasing. I think a couple of weeks ago, I was told that the price of like a pound of corn tortilla increased by 25 cents. So like things are going up.
Yeah.
But does this justify that you are gonna like? So like I can see where you can say we're gonna increase some cents on the on the food that you're getting, but say like 25% increase on like 25 cents increase on your food plate or on your taco, is it justifiable for the consumer, right? So when the price of like the corn went up for like $1.25 rather than $1, they were already charging 25 cents additionally to $1 taco, right? And I am like, how much corn comes in a pound, right? And can't you like make for the 25 cents out of this pound of taco that you're making, right? So it's like, does it mean that every time there's a price increase, you automatically have to go and increase your prices? And the thing is, like, once these prices go up, it's normalized, and it's rare that you're gonna see the prices go back to be like, oh, we're back to our $3 tacos, right? It's not gonna go that way. I do not see it going that way.
It's not sustainable. And one day we had to pay $1 for a single corn tortilla taco.
Imagine.
I hope I'm not alive to see
Girl,
that.
you better go learn how to make your
Yes,
tortillas,
my
because
own
like
masa, my own chicken. Yes, but it's funny because when I started working after I graduated school, that was maybe like almost 8 years ago. I remember like I started buying food more right here in the city. And I remember I would get a plate of rice and beans for $5, $6. And that was that's less than 10 years ago that I'd pay only $5, $6 for a whole plate of rice and beans. And now I'd pay $10 to $12. Like some people charge $12 for regular stew chicken, $12, and I'm just like, what are we really doing here? Like, this is not sustainable. Like, and then even when you buy your own food, it's a little. I think it works out a little bit cheaper, but it depends how much people you're cooking for. Because if you're cooking for yourself, I think it's a little bit cheaper. But if you have a family, don't even ask.
Yeah, it's we're winding down on our couch talk, but I really feel for housewives, and I say this like I reflect on the role of my mom, for instance. So like my mom, my dad would be like, here is the money for the week, and you have to figure it out, right? So I think about the level of stress that women who are caregivers of the house have to go through to manage this, because at the end of the day, kids and dad, they want their plate of food, but you're here have to like figure out, how am I going to manage this money that you have your 3 meals for the day every day, right? So it's like all of these things, like intricacies, come forward when I think about the price of chicken going up. But definitely, is it justifiable that the vendors are saying that our price will go up because of the 6 cents increase per pound? We leave that question for you. Let us know, like, would you, like, are okay with that?
Yeah, and if you are a vendor, what's your justification?
What's your justification?
Yeah,
yeah, that's yep. So somebody's saying chicken vendors do not need to increase their prices crazy as they normally do. Yeah. It says beef went up by $1 and nobody said anything, and 6 cents for an increase for chicken. Come on. Well, we never know about this beef increase, but thank you so much for letting us know. Yeah. It says we are only 400,000 persons, so how comes our country is in shambles and so much poverty, yet politicians and their families and cronies are filthy rich?
That's a question we keep asking too.
Yeah. But of course, people are saying like it's an opportunity for you to like raise your chicken and buy your eggs, but also like the cost of like to feed your chickens.
Yeah. And you have to keep in mind that people, they work like farming is a job in itself.
That is
and
true,
some
Courtney.
people
Thanks for
can
saying
handle
that, yeah.
both, but there are people who literally don't have time for breed sometimes, like between work, between taking care of your family, between your kids, like it's, and whatever extra things you have going on, you know, raising chickens and growing stuff, it's not always in there. And then in the city, I think it's kind of hard too. You don't have big yards. Like, I don't have a yard. I live in an apartment building. I have nowhere to put even a dog, much as a chicken.
You can have a chicken pet.
In my little apartment.
Yeah, in
just,
your
like,
little
wandering
apartment,
around.
just walking around, you know, like lay an egg or two every day.
Yeah, I'll come home and I'll find like eggs all
Yeah,
over the
I love
place.
it. But with that, we come to the end of our couch talk. I want to say thank you so much for your contribution. Baby Beef, you did a great job, you know. Beef with a serving of chicken. But yeah, your input is totally valuable. Of course, like here we're sharing our perspective, what's taking place in the news, and definitely your contribution gives for a broader knowledge or a broader perspective of how we address these national development issues, which are very, very critical. Courtney, it's time for us to do a birthday shout out.
Yes, a special birthday shout out to a special little girl.
Yeah, she's turning 4
4 years
today.
old. This is Giada Kahlo.
What a beautiful name.
Yeah, beautiful name, like Frida Kahlo. Yeah,
Giada Kahlo.
So this is Mary Francis, our producer's lovely daughter, and she was also at the Women in Art. So I saw her running up and down the stairs and giving her mom a headache. Just like she's just such an active child, just like I could see like her playfulness and whatnot, and she looks so beautiful here. So happy birthday to Giada Kahlo, 4 years old. What a magical age. I wish I could be 4 years old again. And
Yeah, happy birthday, Giada Kahlo. Have a great time. And of course, we're going to celebrate the mom also, because
sure.
like I feel like whenever like I celebrate like toddlers, like I always have to say congratulations to the parents, right? Because they're doing, I'm sure like it's such a great feel to see your child grow.
For sure.
And also like the great job that they're doing as a parent to have such a healthy, beautiful child growing.
Yeah.
So I was like, also like, happy birthday, Giada Kahlo, 4 years, such a great achievement. But also like congratulations to the mom, Mary Francis, and their grandmother, Miss Melissa,
Yes,
for doing
for
such a
sure.
wonderful job in growing this beautiful child. So if you're celebrating, also like let us know. We would absolutely love to give you a shout out. But we thank you so much for joining us today on our Couch Talk. Again, we hope that we gave you some conversation starters for your community. And we're gonna go into our sunrise and then our first commercial break. So let's cue in the sunrise.
Yeah, so I took this
You took it.
the
All
morning
right.
of refront.
All right.
Yeah, so the sun was rising and I took
It
this
is
picture.
beautiful, Courtney. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, such a great treat this time of the year again
Yes,
with
the sunrises
beautiful
are
sunrise. And
beautiful.
you're able to meet it right because it's at 6 a.m.
Yes, I really didn't like when it was rising at like 6:30 because like I'm running in the pure darkness.
Yeah.
But now it's rising a little earlier and that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, so like with that, we go to our first commercial break. When we're back, we have a fundraiser that's coming up and we want you to be able to support it. Stay tuned for more details. We'll be right back.
Glenfield Dennison was caught trying to charge BTL for negotiations on behalf of former workers.
He insists he never charged the workers group a cent and claims the invoice was only a negotiating tactic.
If the invoice was just a negotiating tactic, why would Dennison ask BTL to pay the legal fees as part of settlement? And if BTL had agreed, who would have received payment? Dennison, of course, because he sent the invoice the day after the last negotiations to be considered with the 4.5% interest requested by BCWJ. What's worse, the cost of legal work submitted is grossly inflated. Those are senior counsel rates, and Dennison is not a senior counsel. As to the tax identification number on the invoice, no such TIN number is registered with GST. So, we must also ask whether he is licensed with the FIU as required. There's also the question of whether as a Crown Counsel Dennison violated the public service rules which state a judicial and legal officer shall not engage in any private legal work or private business of a legal nature. It's time for him to stop the games and come clean.
El rotavirus es una de las principales causas de diarrea acuosa severa y vómitos en niños. Puede causar deshidratación severa y hospitalizaciones. La buena noticia es que la vacuna contra el rotavirus ya está disponible. Se administra por gotas orales a los 2, 4 y 6 meses de edad. Protege tu bebé. Visite hoy su centro de salud más cercano.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
These charter mints aren't
We're navigating along the coast. This morning, the 2023 in the
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Kelso,
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corzal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to your Monday episode of Sunup on 7. Thank you so much for making some company to Courtney and I on today's episode. If you missed any of our conversations, you can always go back and watch our Facebook recorded live. And we would like to extend an invitation for you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to know who are our guests and what conversations to bring forward to the show. We move on to our first guest conversation. Joining us on our couch, we have Alicia King, the owner behind Leisha's Beauty Bar. And she's here to get your support for her second back-to-school drive that's taking place on August 30th. August 30th. So it's an opportune time for us to talk about this fundraiser for us to get all the necessary support. Because it's something you mentioned behind the scenes, Alicia, is that it's poor people supporting poor people. And unfortunately, like, we have to look after each other, especially in these times, right? Before we get into like talking about the fundraiser, we would like to do a check-in, you know? How are you feeling this Monday?
I'm good.
How was your weekend?
It was good. I did the A Woman in Art 2026 at the Belize.
Okay.
You were braiding there.
Yeah.
You were braiding
I
there.
was like looking at you just now, and I was like, I'm pretty sure you're the person who was braiding
Yeah,
there.
I was
Yeah,
there.
She was actually like braiding somebody's hair while the exhibit was going on.
Oh, like what was your motivation for like go to Women in Art and do braiding?
I'm a person like I just like to be out there. Like, I'm a growing stage, so it's like a yes for me. Anything that you want me to assist with hair braiding on woman, yeah. So it's like, yes, I can do that.
I
so,
love
and
that
I love,
energy.
you know,
Yeah.
showing my talent. So it's like something like, I'll go for it. So I did it, yeah. And I'm working, well, Miss Kim Vasquez invited me, so I appreciate that. And I did it.
Yeah.
You
I
did
did
it.
it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, because you're actually seeing the art being made.
And it's art, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just beautiful to see like the
Live
many.
braiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like there, I was telling the customer like I will do like a statue thing, like when they come I'll pause, and when they're seeing me I will go like doing it again. I'll tell Miss Kim I braid fast, so I'm trying to keep up with the show. Like I could finish before the show, but I did it like, you know,
Wow.
smooth.
Congratulations on being
Craft,
part of the
yeah.
Women in Art exhibition.
Thank
That is like
you.
super cool. And again, like, I love the attitude. You know, like, yes, yes, I can. Why not? You know, and I think that's a great attitude to start the week with. Yeah, and this conversation also, because we're here to like get support for your
Yes.
second back to school drive that's taking place on August 30th.
Yeah.
And you know, and it may be a bit uneasy, you know, like, you know, fundraising and getting support. But the attitude again, yes, I can. You know, like, why not?
I can do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
And of course, one thing that we always are grateful for Sunup on 7 family is that they're willing to support community events. So I am 100%
You guys were the
confident
first that I said, let me go and sign up again. Let me go and try again.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your invitation as well.
Thank you. So this is your second back to school drive that you're doing.
Yes.
So let's talk about the first one. You know, like what was it like? How many people did you support? Give us that information.
Okay, well, the total I wanted to do was 50 kids, well, 100 kids, 50 girls, 50 boys, braiding natural girls here and trimming 50 boys here. But I went over the limit, and I'm happy I did have extra stuff, so I did at least 250 kids last year.
Wow.
Yes. So I finished 9 p.m. That was the last time. I did have 2 braided left. 9 p.m. was my time that I did finish. It was from 7 to 5 p.m., but it went to 9 p.m. Yes, so I did run out of bags, and, you know, because...
So you were doing hair and bags?
Yeah, yeah, the hair, the bags, the food, the snacks, everything, a fun day. I had a fun day, trampoline, everything. It was a fun day with the kids, but I did run out of stuff. So the kids' mom, they didn't feel away because the kids already have their stuff. So it was just to get their hair braided.
Okay.
But I'll still give school equipments and ethnic, but I'll think it will be bigger this year because of the hair braiding. So I do need a little support with that.
Right. So this is the Martins area.
Yeah, the
It's
Martins area.
Kids are trying to target.
Correct. You know, Martins is a big place,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, it's in the Martins area.
All right, so
Diego
tell us.
Street.
So like, tell us what's the vision for this year, because we gotta make it happen, Leash. So like, let's tell us, what do you have in mind for this year?
Well, it will be for the same 100 kids.
Okay.
But you know, you have to go more again. So I'll be out for the more kids again, and I'll tell people no. So you'll get that. You'll get your hair braid. You'll get that.
Okay, so
you
like,
know?
so we're already conscious that it's not gonna be 100 persons. It's gonna be more. So what, it's like 250.
Yeah, let's say like that.
Okay, so we're raising funds to support 250 kids.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start
That is
there.
it. Remember, no invitation. So it's like you can come out. For you to receive the stuff, you'll have to get your hair braid and you'll have to get trimmed. So it's for the kids that need.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's for the need.
I am curious to know, how did the kids, what was the experience like of the kids getting their hair done and
They
their
loved
hair
it
cut?
because they had a pretty hair. You know how kids go, right? In fact, kids know what a pretty. So it's like, we work it. It was a fun time. Man, all I can say, the poor to help the poor.
Yeah. How does it feel for you, like, doing this? Like, I don't know, like, there must be something about using your hands and braiding. How does that make you feel?
Well, I have to big up the ladies that I work with. Yeah. The ladies, I did have like 8 to 9 different mothers did the natural hair. So that day was a hard day because it started raining.
Oh, wow.
Yes, from 6 that never let me down though. I thought that was shower of blessings.
Okay.
So from there, it only rained like an hour. And from there, the sun was hot. So I was like, God, that was a shower of blessing for me. So I know the day will have been fantastic for me.
I love that.
So is it like first come, first serve? So like, let's say you have 100 backpacks, but 200 kids show up. It's the first 100 kids who show up will get the backpack?
Well, the 200 kids, you see somebody here done braid, right? So for you to receive these stuff, you'll have to get your hair braided. So it's like, you really need the stuff, right?
Right.
So even if you don't need it, just come and get your hair braided to show that you will value to get these stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're helping yourself too.
Yeah, because it's not much about the backpacks, right? It's about, you know, like having the supplies for you to braid and do their hair.
Correct.
Right, which is, I'm thinking, gel and the combs and the rubbers and the beads. What else? Courtney, what else do you use for your hair?
Well, I don't get my hair braided.
Well, it's for a natural hair, right? So I'll just do like the edge control and the hair full of wash. Like if they can break them again with their hair full of wash, it'll be more easier for us. So, you know, so you'll just need the edge control and the comb.
There you go.
That's it right there with the beads and the rubber. And yes, I use nice stuff on the kids. So, you know, it's like, the product that I work with, I use,
Yeah, and I think it's like a confidence boost for the kids because, you know, that back to school feeling, like this is my first day, I have to show up and show
up. Today, kids is like, I'm using the school bag that you gave me. And like, Miss Lee, should have a next drive. Or like, yes, I will. So I'm just start planning from early.
Yeah, very early, so that's great. So we want to help with you know, supporting you and ensuring that this could be bigger than last year. So how can people who want to sponsor, who want to reach out, who want to even donate, how can they reach out to you?
Well, you guys can reach out to me by my Facebook, Arlisha King. Everything, all social media is Arlisha King. My contact number is 622-7212. And you can reach out to me on all these. I'm always active on them because I work 24/7 here braiding, right? So it's like, only way you get a late answer because I don't work with the phone, so I give everybody any time. So you'll get a response after, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my contact number.
So it's 622-7212.
Correct.
And that's it.
Arlisha King.
So like, let's give us more details. Like, what do you need for this fundraiser? If you could give us like items.
Okay, so I'll need school equipment, school bags, like food, someone that can donate the food again, the snacks again. Like, I need donation in everything right now because last year I said I will have saved some stuff for this year, but
you went over, you know, what you were like expecting to do.
It was done.
Would it also like work if, let's say, somebody has a child's hair that they would like to get a haircut or like braid, and they bring the supplies, and
we did it.
They bring their own beads and
and then they just leave the rest. You know, like I like this concept of like, you know, paying it in advance for somebody else. Like people would come and they buy a coffee and they just like leave money in case somebody else comes and they don't have money to pay for the coffee. You can just take it out of this and just give them a coffee. So similarly in this situation, let's say like I bring, I don't know, somebody that I want to sponsor to get their hair done, and I can just leave the rest for somebody else to use. Is that something that...
Yeah, well, we did a few braids as well, because, you know, kids' mom, like their hair is a length that, you know, cannot go in the natural style, so they bring the braids, and yes, that's a yes. We'll not send them back.
Okay. So
it's a yes for me. So everybody know a yes always come from me kids, because I love kids, right? And like I always say, poor to help the poor. So that right there.
Okay.
So it's like, no, always, you never get a no. I always be a yes. So you never left the event with not getting your hair done or you not get anything. Even if you come with your hair braided, I still you could receive the stuff. So it's like, either way, you know, you still get your coin to your hair braid and the kids then go around, you know. You still don't want to have a school bag, you want a school bag as well. So I'll give you, just so you know, I don't like to see kids cry. So that's the main thing, right?
Right. And
okay. So I'm putting your number in the chat for people to be able to like access it, okay?
Okay.
So you're aiming to do this in August?
Yeah, in August 30th, the same date, the same location.
Remind us the location.
Yeah, 8357 Diego Street. That's a lane before the Lakers school spot. Yeah, so it's the same area again. We'll be doing it.
Okay. So what would you say is the most fulfilling thing about doing this fundraiser for you?
well, I rather try, try acts because I'm a person that always want to do something myself, right? And God is asking me to ask for help. So He use my body, so I want to use people's body too to help with me, right? So it's like a big thing for me. I just like help people. I can't take it out from me. I don't know why.
Yeah, and it's also like helping your community,
True.
right? Because like you know, like you said, like it's such a beautiful feeling to be able to see a child, you know, just getting pampered, getting some love, and getting ready to go to back to school. Because as you mentioned, Courtney, it's like such a boost, like a morale, like confidence to like walk in fresh. You know, like I think like a child may be experiencing so many things within their environment, but just being able to like have this moment of just getting loved and pampered, that is life changing.
And getting and for any girl at any age, any woman getting their hair done.
I love
that.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I still give away free hairstyle. Like each month, someone attack. They even know me, but they'll attack like, Leash, can you braid my hair for me, please? I don't have any cash. And I was like, okay, yes. They just attacked me for teaching to braid hair and they will pay. I was like, no payment needed. It's like, you can come and watch me, no problem. So it's like, always a yes for me. So I will do this drive. I will do it.
You will do it, and it will be successful. I am sure. So again, it's going to be on August 30th. So we do have enough time for you to go ahead and get those donations happening. And I know that last year you not even only supported Belize City, you also sent some stuff to Mango Creek.
Yeah, Mango Creek, Placencia, I did. I sent some to my mom. I sent some to my brother in Placencia. So I'll be looking forward to donate stuff again from there, from over that side, because I did get donation from Turtle Inn Resort in Placencia, right? So my give back to him was give a few kids in Placencia a little school bag, and you know, that was my thank you back to the resort.
People are definitely connecting with you, Alicia, and saying it's really good to see people giving back to their community.
Thank you.
And for sure, like it's gonna come back tenfold to you.
Thank you.
For the blessing and looking out for their community. So to start wrapping up on this conversation, can you have any last words of encouragement to our viewers to join you in this cause?
The poor to help the poor, guys. So if you want to reach out by helping me that day, donating anything, a pencil could work. Anybody could come and assist. So I'm doing it for the kids. So if I could do it, you could do it too. So that's my words right there.
Yeah.
The poor to help the poor.
Any small thing will help for sure.
Yeah, anything, a pencil, an eraser, something.
Courtney.
Yeah, it's so, you know, good to see what you're doing and like you're helping this. Again, this is such a large community of children who are really in need. And we wish you all the best with the fundraiser. We're hoping next year you can be here again. You're going on your third year, and it's something that you can keep going.
Is that something I'll do till I close my eye? Something like that. Yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was going to ask him, where's your salon? It's located in the Sims?
Yeah, exact where I'll be having the back to school drive, I'm located.
So if people want to get their hair done,
it's right there, yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be my 5th year as well. My hair anniversary is April 7th, so I'll be giving away stuff again. Okay. Everybody look out for Leash.
So people could follow you on social media?
Yeah, social media, Arlisha King, Instagram, Arlisha King, TikTok, Arlisha King. So it's like all my social media is my name.
Awesome. Well,
very well.
We wish you all the best. We hope that it is successful, and we hope to see you again.
Yeah, I'd come back before the fundraiser so we can know where you're at, you know, like your fundraising. And if we need to like boost up for like more sponsorship, then we would love to support you with that, Alicia.
Okay.
Thank you so much for supporting the community.
Thank you too.
On behalf of like all these kids that you're supporting and bringing a smile and some love to their lives, I just want to say thank you. It's such a beautiful thing to do. Yeah, and of course we look forward to your support to get Leisha's, you know, like second back to school drive, supporting the kids with their braiding and haircut, and give them a backpack. Make it happen. Truly, we talked about our couch talk, how our world is going, our place is going, and of course, I think we can make the kids not have to feel it, you know, like let's make a better place for them.
For sure. For sure. Well, guys, we'll go to another commercial break. And I think we have a traffic cam before our break,
we
too.
do?
Yes, and then we'll be back with more conversations.
Let's see how busy our Belize the traffic is. Let's see.
These charter winds aren't from
We're
an
navigating along the coastline.
This morning,
of
the
northern
2023
lagoon in the Good evening. Good evening. I'm Cherie Halsell, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Adore Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Glenfield Dennison was caught trying to charge BTL for negotiations on behalf of former workers.
He insists he never charged the workers group a cent and claims the invoice was only a negotiating tactic.
If the invoice was just a negotiating tactic, why would Dennison ask BTL to pay the legal fees as part of settlement? And if BTL had agreed, who would have received payment? Dennison, of course, because he sent the invoice the day after the last negotiations to be considered with the 4.5% interest requested by BCWJ. What's worse, the cost of legal work submitted is grossly inflated. Those are senior counsel rates, and Dennison is not a senior counsel. As to the tax identification number on the invoice, no such TIN number is registered with GST, so we must also ask whether he is licensed with the FIU as required. There's also the question of whether as a Crown Counsel Dennison violated the public service rules which state a judicial and legal officer shall not engage in any private legal work or private business of a legal nature. It's time for him to stop the games and come clean.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
These charter winds aren't from
We're
an
navigating along the coastline.
This morning,
of
the
northern
2023
lagoon in the Good evening. Good evening. I'm Cherie Halsell, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Adore Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
El rotavirus es una de las principales causas de diarrea acuosa severa y vómitos en niños. Puede causar deshidratación severa y hospitalizaciones. La buena noticia es que la vacuna contra el rotavirus ya está disponible. Se administra por gotas orales a los 2, 4 y 6 meses de edad. Protege tu bebé. Visite hoy su centro de salud más cercano.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Cherie Housel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Linda Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Muy buenos dias, Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to your Monday episode. Once more, thank you so much for making some company to Courtney and I, our guest today. And we jump into our next conversation. We know we had promised that we're going to have a conversation with Zest Handcraft. Unfortunately, she's unable to make it today, but we equally have a great conversation that I'm sure you're going to enjoy because we have Mary Frances Espat joining us on our couch. Mary Frances, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being open to this conversation with you. And today we're going to be talking to you about you as an artist, you know, and your involvement in the Women and Art exhibition that took place this past Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. So Courtney.
Let's start with how you're feeling.
Right now, nervous because it's like
Very.
I wasn't prepared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's showbiz.
Yeah.
That's showbiz. Yeah, it's TV magic. Let's call it TV magic, where we bring you from the background into the couch. You know, and it's like what I appreciate about this conversation with you is we're gonna be able to see a different side of you. Right, we know you as a producer of Sunup on 7. We also have seen you participating in different plays at the Bliss, which you do an exemplary job in being able to like fit these different roles.
Thank you.
But now we see you as an artist, you know, like doing your painting. So, let's talk about that. You know, like what does art mean to you? Like in its many forms that you get involved in it.
It's just, for me, it's just being creative, trying to find who you are inside, expressing yourself. That's what it is for me. And many of my art pieces are more how I express myself, my feelings, and you know, related to what I'm going through in life.
Huh.
When did you start painting?
When I started SJCJC, that was in 2017. I actually majored in fine arts.
Okay.
So that's when my art journey started.
Okay.
And did your mom, because like, you know, I know she's a playwright.
Yes.
She works in a lot of plays. Did that like have a big influence on you?
And how did it influence you?
Yeah.
Well, I would consider her an artist as well, but we're very different. She does express herself in writing, but I would say she did push me to pursue an art field because she saw the creativity in me. But I would say we're still a bit different in that way.
Right. So was this your first time submitting to Women in Art?
Yes, very first.
And what motivated you and said like, I want to be part of the 2026 Women in Art exhibition?
I just saw the flyer and was like, you know what? I'll submit this year. I had these pieces. The pieces that I submitted, one was from last year, and the motherhood one, I've had it for a couple of years now, just sitting there in my iPad, because that one was actually a digital art, not a painting.
Okay, and you do a mix of both?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. And is there like a difference in the way how you engage if you were to do like digital art versus if you would like paint something manually?
Well, yes. Yeah, this is the digital art. It's a series of three pieces. So we have the blue one, I named it Cold. So that was before motherhood, you know, I just felt like I didn't have any purpose in this world. Then I got pregnant, that's warmth. You know, the love I felt from inside. And then obviously Radiate is the red one. That's actually a referenced photo from a photo shoot I had with my daughter for her baptism. And I saw that it was almost shaped like a heart. So I'm like, that's like the perfect, you know.
That is like pretty sweet. And what I love about this, Mary Frances, is that today's your daughter's birthday. You know, so like just seeing that reflection there, I'm like, wow, it's just like a beautiful way of like celebrating your daughter today, but also celebrating your motherhood experience.
Yes.
Yeah. How did it feel like, you know, seeing your art alongside other great women artists in Belize?
I was so excited. I was proud. I was very, you know, I found it hard to submit pieces for exhibitions, but this one I was like very excited, you know, about this one.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that people actually liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think you'll submit again next year?
For sure. I'm already planning in my head.
I love it. I love it. You know, and that's like the beauty of like, you know, like first times, right? There's always like this sense of like nervousness,
Yeah.
maybe like not sure how it will be received, and you got great feedback. Clearly, you say, you know, people like loved your art and they were able to connect with it. That now it motivates you to like submit next year. So
Yeah.
like, and we look forward to what that may be. You know, so like, for people that are like, maybe it's like a cliche question that we ask, you know, but like for people that are in that space where, you know, like, how do I gain the confidence to like paint, you know, or like, how do I gain the confidence to submit? Courtney's her first time that she submitted also, like, how do you move from that point to the next one? Like,
I think what I've noticed is that I don't think it matters what you do or what you put your mind to. I think as long as you're expressing yourself and that piece is exactly how you feel or how you want it to be, you should submit because people will love it no matter what. They have their own interpretation of things, and they will see. Maybe they won't see what you see, but they can see something different, and it still speaks to them. So I think, for me, any art is art.
yeah.
No matter what it is.
That is true. And that was like, sorry, Courtney, I'm talking too much. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, I think one thing you have to realize is that you have nothing to lose by submitting. You have nothing to lose and you have the world to gain. You're not, nobody knows.
I like that.
Yeah, you literally just, if you put yourself out there, you always win when the goal is experience. And with women in art, putting yourself out there, and I know it's daunting to be afraid to get criticism or to somebody not liking what you make, and you're not going to please anybody, but you can please yourself, and you can show yourself that I am capable of doing this. And as long as you keep making your art, you will always get better at it. It's just an experience, and you keep on creating more experiences. I think you literally never lose when you put yourself out there in any capacity whatsoever, even if it's something that you don't win or you don't get. Just the idea of saying, I did this and I will continue doing it, that's a win. That's more than just staying back and not putting yourself out there. And the guest speaker, Kyla Gentle, she's a poet. She has 2 poetry books out right now. You know, she talks a lot about life in Belize and also her own feelings and her struggle with depression and different things. She was a guest speaker and her message was make art anyway. And the message is that the world is basically collapsing, but you making art and you putting your art out there, you make the world a better place no matter what, no matter if you think you're good, if you think you're bad, no matter what type of art you do. Leash was braiding hair, that's a type of art. Just make the art anyway and put it out there.
Yeah. What I love about your pieces is that it's able to tell of a moment in your life, right? And I think that's like therapy on its own. You know, like being able to like process what you're going through. And then next thing when you go back and you tell the story, you're like, it's like journaling, right? Like it just takes you back to a place where you were like, look at this, and you're able to like reflect and get on that. And that just gives us like a better wholesome appreciation of your journey as an artist to say like where you are now.
There's Courtney and Joe.
Yeah, so these are the persons who submitted something literary, because it's very difficult to display poetry and stories and stuff. So I love that they put it in that little book and gave us each one.
That is so good. Mayor Francis, as we start wrapping up this discussion with you, once more, we thank you so much for, you know, being spontaneous and
brave.
and being brave about sharing, you know, like more into getting to know you more as an artist. What last words would you have to share with our viewers that are tuning into this conversation? It's Women's Month, you know, like women in art, as Courtney mentioned, you know, art is just go out there, like art takes its many forms. What would you have to say to other women that are tuned in today?
I would say, be you.
Be you.
Yeah. And obviously, I have to quote Kyla Gentle, make art anyway. Even if you don't consider yourself an artist, just color something, draw something. If that's what helps you express yourself, do it.
Yeah, I like that. Courtney.
Yeah, I think even if you think you're not good at it, nobody's good when they start. Just keep doing it, and you're not trying to win a prize. You're just making something, and I think that's, again, like you said, it's therapeutic. It's fun. It gives you a hobby. It gives you something to look forward to.
That is true. And I guess like once it feels good to you too, right? I feel like sometimes like there's like this expectation of what art should look,
Yeah.
right? Even with like dancing, and like for me, like that's what gets me. You know, like there's a certain way how
Yeah.
you're supposed to dance, and if you don't do it this way, then you get criticism. So similarly with art, there's a certain way how like an artist should be doing, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like whatever gets you going, whatever
Yeah.
gets you like navigating those feelings. So if it's like I know like yeah, there's somebody that sold like a banana stick on a wall, right? And it sold so many like millions. So it's like similarly, like whatever gets you going, like do it. But the opportunity to be able to connect with people, Mary Frances, is such a beautiful one.
Yeah.
And you did
and
a
I'm
great
sure
job
people
with your art.
relate to your motherhood journey in that same way. People always talk about the before and after having a child and how it transforms your life.
And we can clearly see it on those 3 pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. What a story.
Right, and happy birthday again. to
Happy
Gia.
birthday.
Hello.
Now you can do like a proper birthday shout to her, yeah.
Happy birthday, baby. You're in school, I know, but we'll get some cupcakes for her, and I hope she enjoys her day. I did a whole setup for her at home since I wasn't there when she woke up, but she was so excited about it, and we'll celebrate you later.
I love it. I love it. Yes. So with that, folks, we're going to go into our next commercial break. When we're back, we're going to be wrapping up today's show.
And we have a next traffic cam, I think.
Yes,
Do we?
traffic comes.
Glenfield Dennison was caught trying to charge BTL for negotiations on behalf of former workers.
He insists he never charged the workers group a cent and claims the invoice was only a negotiating tactic.
If the invoice was just a negotiating tactic, why would Dennison ask BTL to pay the legal fees as part of settlement? And if BTL had agreed, who would have received payment? Dennison, of course, because he sent the invoice the day after the last negotiations to be considered with the 4.5% interest requested by BCWJ. What's worse, the cost of legal work submitted is grossly inflated. Those are senior counsel rates, and Dennison is not a senior counsel. As to the tax identification number on the invoice, no such TIN number is registered with GST. So, we must also ask whether he is licensed with the FIU as required. There's also the question of whether as a Crown Counsel Dennison violated the public service rules which state, a judicial and legal officer shall not engage in any private legal work, or private business of a legal nature. It's time for him to stop the games and come clean.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
El rotavirus es una de las principales causas de diarrea acuosa severa y vómitos en niños. Puede causar deshidratación severa y hospitalizaciones. La buena noticia es que la vacuna contra el rotavirus ya está disponible. Se administra por gotas orales a los 2, 4 y 6 meses de edad. Protege tu bebé. Visite hoy su centro de salud más cercano.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Cherie Kelso, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm in Durcraft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Good morning, dear Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to our Monday episode. It's time for us to wind down on today's show. Before that, I just want to send a safe travel wishes to Renata. She's going through her travel hurdles coming back home to Belize, and she's finally on her plane and making it back home.
Yeah, I saw that her first flight was canceled, and then she rebooked, and then it became delayed. But that's when you travel, like, you have to expect that you'll run into this thing.
You know, like, I've been super blessed that I have
never had
that experience. Okay, you know, like, and I'm traveling in a week, and I pray that does not happen to me. But yeah, but Ren, safe trip home. We miss you on Sunup on 7, and we look forward to having you back. I also want to give somebody their flowers on our chat, and that's to Miss Clarita.
Okay.
You know, Miss Clarita, I did not happy belated birthday to start with, but also, like, I love the fact that she's here singularly messaging people and be like, hey, good morning, beautiful this, and good morning that. You know, like, I love chirpy people like that, you know, like, and it's does not take a lot of your time, I would say. Yeah. It does take energy for you to go ahead and share this energy with somebody, but just the fact about you spreading love out there is such a beautiful thing to see, Miss Clarita. So I want to wish you a beautiful morning, a beautiful start of your week. Thank you so much for always joining our chat with so much love and welcoming us, like everyone that interacts with your daughter, you know, into your space. We totally, totally value that. And equally, there's so many other persons within our chat that join us every morning to say good morning. I love the culture that we have, right? Respectful people. We disagree respectfully also. There's people that do not connect with our views, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like we talked earlier, Courtney, it's like we're sharing a different perspective. You know, like if you do not connect with it, that's totally fine. If you connect with it, that's better, you know. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's just sharing that. But again, the fact that you're respectful, the fact that whenever somebody says something that's discriminatory, you know, like it's like microaggressive, you're out there showing support and love and not dealing with that. So giving your flowers to everybody that's tuned in to Sun Up on 7 every day and makes Sun Up on 7 a safe, inclusive, respectful, enjoyable, fun time. So
Yeah.
I have to tell that to
Yeah,
you.
we have the best viewers, for sure.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. How long have you been hosting now, Sun Up on 7?
I think this year will be 2 years.
Already?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a journey. I still remember like the first time, like being nervous and not knowing what to expect. But I come ready and excited, and I think that like everything, it helps you grow. And I feel like I've grown since the first show for sure. People always talk about me shaking my legs a lot, which is something that I do notice. So I want to say that people think I'm nervous or anxious because I shake my leg, but that's not it. I just need to be fidgeting and moving. But yeah, I feel like I don't get nervous anymore. It's fun. It's genuinely fun hosting the show. Like it's a step out of my usual journalist space. Yeah.
Yeah, where we hear your voice now.
Yeah.
Like, but now we're able to like see you
Yeah.
and hear your voice. I feel like working like on June 21st is going to be 5 years that we're doing Sun Up on 7. And I definitely see a big transition in where it was and where I am now. Not just like, even like people would say, oh, the hair change, but the hair change is also part of that transformation, right? But just like you mentioned, you know, being able to like, I think it takes like a lot of being vulnerable to come here and speak your mind, because nothing is scripted, right? It's like speak your mind. Also, it's a great opportunity to like learn, because every day a new information comes in, and you're like, so like the mind just keeps on expanding, which I absolutely love. And the fact that there's so many people out there that are doing great things.
You get to connect with people.
Connect with
yeah,
people.
that's such a good
I
experience.
love it. It's just like the social networking that takes place and the growth that comes with it is like absolutely beautiful. What's an equally rewarding experience is when you're out there and people say, hey, I follow your show every day. I look forward to you dancing, to like, I like the way how you like communicate and all of these things. I want to say thank you so much for doing that too, because the fact that you welcome us with love every day into your space and being open to like, again, our perspectives is such a great treat, you know, like to be received and accepted. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, to have an impact on people.
So we look forward to like more years with you on Sun Up on 7, Courtney.
For sure.
Yeah. Look forward to like many more years with you also joining us on Sun Up on 7. You know what's also like a tradition is our Easter tradition.
Yes.
So as every Easter we go somewhere. And so like, of course, let us know like where do you think Sun Up on 7 will be on this Easter trip?
Yeah. And it's Brandon and Miriam hosting.
Brandon and Miriam hosting this year.
And maybe we just go for like funsies. We can reach out there too.
Maybe. It's like a bit sad because I will not be doing it this year. You know, for the last 4 years, it's been like me doing the Easter trip, which I really love, because we're able to see like, you know, like different ways how people view and celebrate Easter.
Yeah.
You know, like
when you're out of the studio or somewhere else, you're experiencing something else. Yeah, for sure.
And just like how wonderful Belize is. And the many like things we have to offer. So like how blessed we are.
Where are some places we've done it in the past? Let's remind.
So we went to like Benque Viejo, and that's where we like learned how to make the sawdust carpet, the carpet that they do. That was such a great experience to be able to do it. We went to Chial Reserve, and that was such a great treat to be out there in nature in a fancy place. I was like, what a treat. We also did San Pedro. A couple of years ago, Miriam and I, and just being able to like how the San Pedranos prepare themselves. We had a great time at Elvie's kitchen. So shout out to Chef Jenny. My God, that fish chicharron is the best.
Yeah.
You know, but like Chef Jenny in general, you know, like she invited me to her kitchen. She had me like cracking crab and all of these things. Miss Jenny, we love you, Chef Jenny. We love you so much. You're so warm, and you can taste that in their food.
Yeah.
Shout out to Elvie's kitchen. You know, a great staff. You know, like they set a great standard for hospitality services. So, so great. So yeah, we also did Key Hawker once. Yeah, I've been around.
Been around.
Yeah. But let's see where we go this year, for sure. It's going to be very, very cool. Are we going to Rendezvous Key? Ah, that's a
It's
good
a
one.
beautiful
I have not
key.
been.
It's beautiful because it's just like one little strip of land and it's empty.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just so peaceful and it's so blue and
Have you been to St. George's Key?
yeah. My grandfather used to be a fisherman there.
Oh, I have not been to St. George's Key.
St. George's Key is so peaceful too. Like
Okay.
it has houses, people live out there and stuff, but it's just such a calm, peaceful, slow place. You should try
Yeah.
going out there on like a 10th of September. That's when
Okay.
they have celebrations.
Yeah. Yeah. Miss Claudia, we got you on time. We have one more minute to go. Shout out to you, Miss Claudia, also my dear Valentine, for like joining us also, like reminding us, like of the time. I think like you love to like, get the best out of this 2 hours with you. Will we be going to Orange Walk? That's a great question. Orange Walk.
Orange Walk for Easter. That's
Orange Walk for
interesting.
Easter. Are we going to Corozal? So somebody say, I believe they will either be somewhere between Corozal. It's like, I believe they will be somewhere in between Corozal and Toledo. You are right.
Yeah.
Somewhere between Corozal and Toledo. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. So as we wrap up, let's just thank our guests.
Let's
We
do that,
have
Courtney. Thank you.
Leash's Beauty Bar. As you heard, she's having her back to school giveaway where she braids girls' hair and trims boys' hair to get ready for school. And she also gives away backpacks and school supplies. But she's looking for support, donations. If you can help in any way, Kevin put her number and her social media in
Yeah. And if you missed it, the number is 622-72112.
Right. So, and if you just want to get your hair braided, she has her salon in the Martins area, so you can check her out.
Yeah.
And then we had Mary Frances Espat, our producer extraordinaire, talking about her pieces in Woman in Art. So I think if you missed that, if you check out the ICA page, I'm sure they will have pictures, videos of what went on on Friday night. And if you're a woman in art, if you create literally anything, like I told you, they were sewing, like not costumes, clothes, people who sew, people who crochet, people who make like, I don't even know what to call it, like any type of art you could think about, it was there. Leash was there braiding hair. Like if you're a woman in art, put yourself out there. Submissions usually open around February, so look out for that next year and be a part of something great.
That is true. You have a whole year to work on something.
Yes.
Get inspired. Go out there and put your best self out there and just like enjoy like the therapy, enjoy the experience of art and get to know yourself
creating.
better. I think if there's one thing, it's just you get to know yourself better
For
while
sure.
doing that.
For sure.
So with that, we wrap up our Monday episode. Courtney, great job.
Thank
It was
you.
such a good baby beef couch talk with you today. And of course, just in general, having your company is always such an enjoyable time. We thank you folks for joining us today. Have a great start of your week. Be blessed, stay hydrated, follow the weather, and of course, be kind to your people out there.
For sure. Have a great week. It's Monday, so set the pace today, set your intentions for the week, and have a great time.
And now Courtney's gonna dance. You
We'll
ready,
see.
Courtney?
We're ready, yes.
Courtney's ready to dance. Let's dance. All right, Courtney, let's see it.
Chopper. Doggy style. No me canse.
A place to call your home, a place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up